Welcome to the colossal city of Waterside. Now, the original purpose of this part was to start filling in this area, and when I came in to do the preparation to lay this road in so that we could start to do it, the game actually updated, so there's a new patch out now for Cities Skylines. It's patch 1.4. For reference, if you're watching this in the future, this is being recorded on the 23rd of March 2016. Now, so this part's going to focus very much on the changes of the new patch rather than what I was planning on doing. But before I get into that, while I was building the roads, I filled in this area here. You can see we've got some demand for residential here, so what I'm going to do is just fill in a bit of residential here. I'm just going to pause the game because I don't want it running away with me. And what I'm going to do is just fill in, whoops, kind of forgot. Just going to fill in this area here. Got some commercial there, so we're going to have to dezone that area there. And I think what we're going to do is just fill in do these last areas of high density. And we got a bit more commercial, so I think what we're going to do is just kind of fill in these areas here, and that's not space there. Got a little bit of room for some commercial there. I'm just going to unpause the game and let it run slowly. So we missed out of some pieces here in my zoning, so we need to get this filled in. Yeah, so just kind of zone in some more commercial there just to fill in this area. The other thing that's happened is that that one's, I was about to say, these are my cemeteries are just about to fill up, and so that's actually unlocked. Can't remember which distinct building it is. I think it's Grand Central Station. I think it is this one. So we've now unlocked all the cemeteries, and so what we need to do again before I get into is I'm going to drop some crematorians in to kind of suck up get one in there, and I think we'll get one over here, I think, and one over here. Because what I'm going to be doing is emptying the crematorians. So not crematorians, cemeteries, but I need first to get that sorted out. Anyway, yeah, we're going to talk about the new changes, and I'm going to kind of go through them in sequence. Most of them are like changes in positions of things. So what they've actually done is they've actually split this now into parks, plazas, and something called other parks, which is the tennis courts, and you've still got the tourist here, which if you haven't got after dark you won't have. So we've got that there, and things like paths and that now we moved into this new tool here, which is actually starts with a terrain tool. Now, big warning here, guys. Big warning, guys. The tool's not as aggressive as the editor, but it still can be. You can see here, and one of the nice things now is, see the contours? It actually puts contours on the map when the tool's enabled, and I think you can now, I think it actually, see it? This is very useful. So I'm not going to do any aggressive changes, and I think what I'm going to do is, see, and you've got the normal map editor tools, and what I'm going to do is, and the brush size, and I think this is strength, and what I'm going to do is just smooth this back in again. So there's a very key warning. It's very easy to bugger up your city if you actually mess about with these tools. So save the game. If I don't have anything else here, above all other things, is before you start playing around with these tools, you may think, oh well, I'm just gonna do a nice little bit of an extension here, and before you know it, you're gonna find that you've damaged the city. So that's the one there, and of course what they've done now is this is actually called landscaping, and what they've done is they've moved the paths into this area here and the trees, and I think they've added some extra trees. Now I'm not sure whether all you guys will have these trees, because I think some of these trees have been added to deal with like some comments some guys have made, and I must admit I'm with them, that when you play on the Snowfall DLC on a winter map, the map looks pretty bare, so I don't think these are here. And you've got this quite large, I think it's called a wild conifer, which is probably a little bit too big, but I mean we'll just put them in for the fun of it. Here, actually let's put some in the centre here. I do need to, if you look round you can see where I've been playing with these trees. And the other thing while I'm actually looking at this is, if you come to here, you can actually put some rocks in. So what you could do is just drop some rocks in like that. The downside is that you can't really get in with the trees, so that's the downside. But it gives you a bit more. I think what we're going to do up here actually is let's put some rocks in here as well. So you can put, I think this might be the more useful thing here, is you can actually put in some smaller rocks like this, just scatter them around, maybe over here, maybe something a bit bigger, maybe it's a bit too uniform, but just, and I think you've got this kind of here. I mean, it'd be nice to have something that's a bit more craggier, and you seem to be able to overlap rocks, so you can create an effect like that, but you can't. It's harder to put the trees in. I keep looking for the trees in the wrong place, guys. I think it's going to take a little while to get a hang of the. And as I say, we can just put some kind of. I think this would be probably more effective. It'd be quite fun, you know, quite cool to have a look at this on the winter map. And as I say, we're just going to pause the map because we're running out of daylight. Maybe we'll get something a bit more spacious here. I don't want it to look too much like just kind of, maybe we'll just put a background next to the trees, something like that, and maybe some smaller trees there. Just yeah, I think I quite like that. No, I mean I'll just dropping some more trees here. It's a shame. Oh, we can get some there, a few there, maybe this there. It'd be nice if you could get a rock type combination there. Anyway, so that's the trees, and as I say, you've got the trees and the rocks, and then you've got these extra features here, which are quite interesting. This is it's actually called a key. It's what you can seem to be able to do. It won't. It's a bit of a shame that it won't go up high against docks. But what you can do now is have a bit of a key wall here, and you can see. Probably this is not the best place to illustrate it. Actually, let's go over here where I did some practice playing here. This go along here. What you can actually do is, I hook up there. Actually, it's I'm on the freestyle tool anyway. I think you can only, there's quite a narrow band, but what you seem to be able to do is just come along like this. I'm in here, and what you get is a nice level. So then if I'm going to put a two-way road along here anyway, so, or four-way highway, because this is going to be a kind of a residential area. So say and we'll just you can see we can just kind of curve around here. And I can just bring off this road here. This is just like a stick that out there. You can see here now, well, the zoning's gone, but if I turn the zoning on, you can get some nice residential properties with a nice kind of front. It'd be nice. It'd be good if the public can walk along them. But I think it'd also be like, say, if they don't, we can take a path here. They just won't actually let us. It's a shame. Can't seem to get. There seems to be a limit on how close you can get, but you get a nice walled effect there, though. So that's cool. Maybe eventually are that they are. Although you might need to be a bit careful so that you don't affect the river. So that's walls. Now, and the other thing you get also is I'm just going to demo these. Say, like for example, you build a dam up here, or dam in this section, and the water starts to flood out. They've actually given these flood defences now. Don't know whether you can increase them or decrease them, but you'll be able to put flood defences to stop the water spilling out. And if any of you guys have ever tried to build a dam on a fairly flat piece of river like that, you probably know the consequences. I did a map when I first got Cities Skylines. It's not recorded, but I managed to flood my entire city. Now, another cool feature, which I really like as well, is with dams now, like if you want to build, you can actually see the contour maps. That actually gives you an idea of where your dam's going to lay out. So I really like that. So I must admit, I give Closs Order their credit where it's due. I think they really care about us guys, about what we're doing, what we want to do, and they take on board. They're taking on board the opinions of what we'd like to see happen, and they're always developing the game, and I quite like that. And now the other thing here, now what I'm going to do is just do a quick save. I'm going to call it 13C because these are canals, and I've got mixed feelings about them. The bit I would really like to see is these actually as part of a transport system. But what you do, I'm going to build them here, but from now on this will not appear in the future series because I'm thinking what you do is you kind of build in here, and what I'm going to do is just kind of build a loop like that, and if I unpause the game, you see the water flowing in. Oops, unpause the game and speed it up a little bit. Maybe I'll just make it go a bit quicker with the water flowing. The bit I'm not too happy about is the junction here, because it'd be nice if somehow you could raise this up a bit and raise it. And you've got seem to have 3 different types. So if this is a deeper canal and really an even deeper canal. As I say, these won't stay, and there seems to be a maybe if I come here, oops, better not cut the power lines. Maybe space already occupied. I presume these will snap. So, and just let it run through. You can see the water. Oh, it's getting dark, but I'll just let the water flow in. There is a hazard with anything like you do with water, is there's a good chance they will overflow. Let's just speed the game up again, because in fact what I'll probably do is I'll cut the night cycle out. Yeah, but again you can see the contour lines highlighted against the map, which I think is very, very useful. As I say, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to let the map run through the night cycle at high speed, and I would join you back just to show you those canals before in daylight. Oh well, welcome back guys, and you can see the canals have now filled up. It's daylight. As I say, I'm not totally happy with the entrances, but they look good. I like them. And you say you've got an opportunity now to introduce water and canals through it. And while I was off camera, I just did a little bit of practice, so you can still build roads over them, so you can get these little canal bridges. I think, to be honest, they call them canals, but I think they look a bit more like storm drains, and maybe they might need a bit more work with the terrain, because what I did have a look at is up here, and I think if you come up here and cut one in here, it looks a bit, and the water flows in here. You can see it looks very, very deep, because it's obviously the water level, and the water level sloshes up a bit. So I think I'm not sure if I'm going to be totally using them, but I like the idea of it. I like where Colossal's coming from. I think they're onto a good thing. One thing I would like to do is be able to have. It could be fun to have them as a transport option, maybe even with some locks in it, so you can go up terrain. That could be fun to do, but I don't know how difficult it would be to actually show these as there. I mean, they've got some nice reflection in the water there, because the water's almost transparent. I like that as well. So I think that's enough for this quick overview of the new patch. Overall I'm very, very happy with it. I think they're really onto something, and I do appreciate what Colossal's done. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode. One final point before I go is, if you've followed my Coldfinger series, you know that I wound it up, but what I'm going to do is do the same as this, but for the Snowfall map, because obviously there's going to be some variations in the part that goes there. That's a bit not quite so good there, is it? But I don't know, it creates a kind of a seawall effect there. Yeah, so I'm going to do another one, so it would be like a one-off for Coldfinger, just highlighting the new changes. Looks like I've cut the power lines here. Yeah, so I might have to have a look at that off camera. Just probably because I've taken away the garbage dump there. Yep, so this is where I'm going to leave it, guys. Next part, we're going to be back to doing what I actually planned to do in this part, which is building up this area, kind of getting in the finishing off this residential type area here, starting to develop some more commercial in this area, starting to push the industrial out here. Maybe we'll kind of do a little bit of a spur out here and get some farming underway. We haven't done any farming yet, and we'll keep the process of starting to move this industrial area away. So on that note, I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. Hope the new additions have kind of piqued your interest in what you want to do, and you know that maybe there's things that you like and you want to do. I mean, it could be fun. I mean, I don't know. Sorry, guys. No, that's kind of, maybe it's a bit too close to the. Maybe you can't be. I don't know. It won't. No, I think this won't be there when you come back, guys. I think I preferred the dirt. That's a bit too Spartan. It'd be nice if some modder picked up this and put, say, like a more traditional stone key wall type effect rather than the blank concrete effect. That would be really nice. I'd like that. Then I'd probably be a bit more inclined to use it a bit more. Anyway, so this is where I'm going to leave it, guys. Like and subscribe. Until the next time, enjoy your gaming.